Hello everyone, welcome to part 9 of our Datagrid series. In this part we are going to cover the delete operation from our Datagrid. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and get rid of these breakpoints and run this application. I realize this is getting a little long, but hopefully when you're done with the series you'll know everything about Datagrid. Alright, so we are here, we have the application running. So we are going to select a record with our mouse and hit the delete key on our keyboard and delete records from our data grid. Okay, so that's what we want to accomplish. Okay, alright, so let's close this. Let's go back to our designer, and inside our data grid right here we're going to add a new event, and the event we are looking for is PreviewKeyDown. Okay, let's double click to create a new event handler, and let's go to our code behind. Okay, so first I'm going to put a breakpoint right here and run this again. And now when I select a record, hit the delete key, it fires the event, and we know our event is working. Alright, next I'm gonna add a new method to delete the song from the file. Okay, so let's call this void delete song, and this is going to take a song object. Let's call this song and open close our curly braces. In some ways it's going to be similar to our update, so we may reuse this code. Okay, but we're gonna apply some changes. So with this method, what was happening is we were looping through our song list and adding all the songs to the lines variable here. But with delete, we want to add everything except the song that we are deleting, the song that's coming from here. So we're going to add an if statement. We're going to enclose this line, Control KS. Let's do an if statement. We'll say if song, if song, actually if s dot id not equals to song.id. Okay, so we are going to exclude the song that we want to delete. So it's going to add all the songs to this variable except the incoming song that we are passing in. And once all the songs added to the lines except the one we want to delete, we are going to overwrite the file with the new data. Okay, again with delete operations, actually, you know what, let's put a comment this line out. We don't want to do that yet, so just want to put a breakpoint here and test this code. Actually, first in our event handler we are going to say var song equals grid dot selected item as song. Actually this should have been a dot, not underscore. Okay, as song. Alright, so we are grabbing the selected item from the grid and then casting to a song, and then we'll pass that in to our method. So delete song and pass in the song. Okay, now let's put another breakpoint here and let's see what happens. Alright, I'm going to select the first one, hit the delete key. We didn't hit our first breakpoint because, of course, we are calling this method before the breakpoint. So actually, our method has been called, and let's see, we have data added here, and as you can see, the data that's added starts with song number 2, and song number 1 is deleted and it's not there. Okay, so we know it's working. Let's continue. Now it's gonna hit the breakpoint because this we ran the method and that's completed, so now it's hitting the second breakpoint. Okay, so we know that's working, but we want to be a little careful when deleting a record from our data source, and we basically want to actually prompt the user whether they are sure, because deleting is really, it can be expensive sometimes if you delete by accident. So we want to pop up saying if the user is, you know, sure to delete the item. Okay, so let's go ahead over, let's go right below this song variable here, and let's create let's say message box. Let's say var result equals let's see, message box dot show, and here we are going to pass in a string variable, a string saying are you sure, question mark, and then we'll pass a caption of the dialog box that's going to be a string, and this button will be message box button will be yes no, so you want yes no whether you want delete or no, and then icon will be message box image dot warning, and the default result, let's do that now, message box result no. So by default we want to say no if nothing happens, or if you close the dialog box, because again when deleting gotta be really careful. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to say if result equals message box result dot yes, then we want to call this method. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here and let's test this out. So now I'm going to select the first one, hit delete, and we got the dialog box. If I say yes, it's going to call the method. Let's stop here. Let's try put a another breakpoint to the end of the event handler. Let's see what happens when we select no. So select the song, delete key, say no, and then we ran to the end without calling the method. Okay, so that's working fine. Alright, so we know that's working. We're getting explicit consent from the user that we want to delete the song. The next thing we want to make sure is that the key that's pressed is the delete key. So we are going to say over here, we're going to say and if, well actually we're already in the if statement. If e dot key equals keys dot I think we have to use this as a using statement, otherwise, well, if I press the control dot, I think it's going to suggest we add that. Nope. Let's copy and paste this to a using statement. Let's go ahead and go up here. We're going to say using and paste that in. System Windows input. I think now it should give me that. It's going to give me that keys that, and no, still not giving me that. Maybe it's here. Oh, I thought it was in there. Key dot. Jesus. It's key dot, not keys, of course. Key dot delete. Okay. So we want to make sure that the key is the delete key, and then we are going to run this. Okay. So let's go ahead and test this out. Let's put a breakpoint here. Actually, right here. Okay, let's run this. Because if you don't specify the key here, any key can fire that event. Let's say if I press shift key, it still activates the event, right? So we don't want that. We only want that to happen when the delete key is pressed. Okay, so now I just press the delete key. I'm going to say yes, and we came down here, we're calling the method, and we know that part is working. Now I noticed something. This should have been inside here. Well, we can't do that, can we? Let's see. We can't bring that inside here because we are using the result over here. So what we can do is we can say actually we can copy and paste this over here. We can say if e dot key equals key dot delete, then run this code where actually we're going to open close our curly braces, copy this whole thing, cut and paste in here, or better yet we can do the actually take this one as well and paste in here. This way we are making sure the key is delete key before we run any part of this code. Now we actually don't need this part here because we're already checking at the beginning of the method or the event handler. Okay, so let's test this out. Let's put a breakpoint right here and run this. Okay, so actually I'm gonna put another breakpoint over here, and first I'm going to select and try a different key. Okay, the method is being called. If I go F11, it's going to step over, well, it's going to skip that part because the condition is false, so it's not running this part of the code. Okay, hit continue. This time I'm going to try escape, call the same, fire the event because we are pressing a key eventually. Continue, or F11, it's not running the code. Continue again, let's hit delete, F11, now we are getting there. So as you can see, the song is selected. In the meantime, we accidentally edit the song, I think, but anyway, so we call the event, and from here on it's working. Okay, we got the dialog box that says yes, no. If I say yes, it's going to continue and call the method. Okay, so we got that part taken care of. Now we know it's only going to accept the delete key. Okay. Now I think we can uncomment this, or let's put a break. No, actually, yeah, let's uncomment this and run this. Okay, so we covered the delete key pretty good, I think. Let's test this out. So I'm gonna add a dummy song here. Let's say 34. Dumb and Dumber. That's a movie, but anyway. Say what was the guy's name? Dummy, unknown. Let's just make stuff up as we go. I think that's fine. We'll just skip. .com. Alright, so I'm going to select this record here, hit the delete key. Are you sure? Yes. And we have deleted the file, I think. Well, we had a new record. I'm not sure we added to begin with. I think. Alright, let's try this again one more time. Alright, let's go ahead and delete the first one. Hit delete key. Are you sure? We're going to say yes. And it ran all the way through to the end of the delete method. Let's continue. Okay, now number one is removed from our data grid. Let's check our file. And actually this is not it. Well, it was already open, so okay, so let's reopen this file, and as you can see, number one is gone. Now we have number started. Our list is starting from number 2. Okay, so song number 1 was deleted. Let's go ahead and delete another one. Second one. Let's hit delete key. Are you sure? Yes, it went all the way through. And if we recheck our file, and number 2 is deleted as well. So that's delete. I just realized something else actually. So the other thing we have to pay attention to is, let's run this. I want to show you as we run the application. So let's say if I'm inside a record, and let's say I'm adding stuff and then deleting stuff. At some point, if I hit the delete key, it's still going to fire the event. Okay, so we have to find a solution for that problem now. Let's say no for now, and this. So basically we want to make sure the sender is the row or data grid cell. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. Let's say var source. Let's say source equals sender dot get type, and passing the sender, and get type actually is, yeah, type dot name. Actually we want to get the name. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here. So let's run this. Let's say if I'm inside here and hit the delete key, the source is Datagrid. I think, no, I need to get the origin. E dot input source, no, original source dot get type dot name. Okay, so we want the E dot original source dot get type dot get name. Let's try this again. I'm going to hit the delete key. Okay, now the source comes as text box. Okay, let's close this and run again. So when I'm in edit mode and I hit the delete key, the source is text box, but when the whole row is selected and I hit the delete key, let's see what we get. Now we have the data grid cell. Okay, that's what we want. So basically we want to make sure the sender or the source is the data grid cell. Okay, so we're going to say and source equals data grid cell. I hope I spelled that right. Let's put the breakpoint again and try. Select the row, hit delete. I think we should be okay. Hit F11, and yes, all right, we got it right. Okay, so now we have we are checking for the key and we are checking for the source. Okay, so in other words, if I'm in edit mode and I hit the delete key, it's not going to proceed deleting the song. So it still fires the event, but it's going to skip that part of the code that deletes the song from the file. Okay. All right. So that's that. I think we pretty much covered all we need to know about delete. In next tutorial we are going to do a search box to search through the items, and then we'll probably do a dynamically populated grid box with C# code, and that will be it. Okay, I think If you guys want to know something else or something more, please drop in the comment section. All right. Until then, take it easy.